Good afternoon, welcome to the news. I am Doreen Kalokoh. Coming up in this edition of News are ministries, departments and agencies signed performance contract with President and Aspire Nkrumah. University of CERTIFIES presents a new form of student governance to stakeholders. Minister of Social Welfare, Gender and Children's Affairs says she inherited a dysfunctional ministry, and passengers of Royal Air Maroc demonstrate over their missing luggage. All the stories, including business and sports, lined up in this edition of News Hour. Ministries, departments and agencies have signed performance contracts with President and Aspire Nkrumah. During the signing, the President disclosed that when he introduced the performance contracts for MDAs in 2008, he had in mind to build a culture of efficiency and effectiveness in the public sector. Razia Bash Kamara sent in this report.
As public servants reflect on the achievements and challenges experienced by the government in 2015 and the ambitious targets they set for 2016. He intimated His Excellency the President that they as civil servants have achieved a significant milestone of the Sierra Leone 2015 Open Government Partnership Action Plan, which is a public pronouncement of the performance contract result. Dr. Suru said, as they may all be aware, the performance contracting was initiated in 2008, born out of President Nkrumah's vision to run the country as a business entity.
To achieve this required accountability, transparency, timely delivery of services, and effective provision of answers to the demand of services and the citizens of this country from public servants.
Giving a background of the performance contracts, the Chief of Staff Office of the President, Saidu Kontonsi, said they are all aware of the challenges facing the state institutions in their efforts to deliver services. These, he maintained, include coping with public expectations, scaling up performance, inefficient utilization of resources, culture of business as usual, impropriety, difficulty in prioritizing plans, inadequate budgetary allocation and disbursement. The Chief of Staff Office of the President added that the challenges also include inter-ministerial departments and agencies, coordination and collaboration, and non-adherence to internationally acceptable accountability and transparency standards. Mr. Sise explained that the core function of the Office of the Chief of Staff is to facilitate the process of resolving those challenges in order to enhance coordination and teamwork among ministries, departments and agencies, strengthen public service delivery, and scale up overall government performance.
The purpose of this meeting is twofold. One is to provide feedback on the assessment of the 2015 performance across MPS, local councils, tertiary educational institutions, state-owned enterprises, using peer reviews, analysis of the quarterly and annual reports that you submit, and field visits. The second purpose is basically to formalize the contracting process. We are fully aware that throughout the year, up to this point, you have been executing the plans that have been put together without really signing any formal contract with the President. And I think this is actually the spirit that we want to drive home.
Presenting the results of 2015 performance contracts and performance contract signing procedures, the Director of Performance Management Service Delivery Directorate, Abdul Rahman Sowa, said inbuilt into this performance tracking table are performance targets that bear on policy, oversight and coordination, collaboration, institutional capacity building, reforms, legislation, cost-cutting issues, among several others. Explaining the project's trackers, he noted that inbuilt into this are the strategic projects agreed to be executed by the institution or take oversight responsibility for successful delivery, therefore timeliness, quality assurance efforts, oversight role, cost effectiveness, and value for money are assessed. Disclosing the 2015 performance contract result as per category, Mr. Sowa highlighted the successful institutions under the very good category, which included the National Revenue Authority and the Sierra Leone Police.
The local councils. Those that have been rated good are Bo District Council, Bombali District Council, Freetown City Council, Kailan District Council, Bo City Council, and Makini City Council. The ministries, Your Excellency, that have been rated are the Ministries of Defense. I want to thank them. They have kept this spot for years. The Ministry of Fisheries and Marine, the Ministry of Health and Sanitation, Social Welfare, Foreign Affairs, Energy, Trade, Justice and the Attorney General, Internal Affairs, Information and Tourism. Our tertiary education institutions, Your Excellency, those rated as good are Eastern Polytechnic, Freetown Teachers College, University of Sierra Leone, Miti-Magai College of Education, and Kalokoh Teachers. Those are the National Revenue Authority, the Environmental Protection Agency, the Sierra Leone Water Company with the youngest CEO, the Corporate Affairs Commission this time, the National Commission for Social Action, and the Sierra Leone Police Force.
Signing the performance contracts, President Nkrumah said when he introduced the performance contracts to government, ministries, departments and agencies in 2008, he had in mind to build a culture of efficiency and effectiveness in the public service and building a culture of planning, monitoring and of self-assessment. The President maintained that to improve the public service delivery, each public institution should be able to identify its needs, prepare its budget, and show value for money in implementing its activities. He pointed out that each public office should be able to identify its lapses every year and that members of the public and civil society and other stakeholders should be integral to the planning, monitoring and evaluation of its government's policies, programs, reforms and internal processes. President Nkrumah emphasized that it has been the centerpiece of his government's openness and public accountability, underscoring their commitment to development aspirations of the nation. The President observed that before 2008, no government minister would think of being called upon to give account of his stewardship to civil society organizations, his peers, and the general public. He added that also before 2008, no mayor, no university, chancellor or principal will come before his councillors, his peers and the public to account on what he has done in office the previous years, and that no public servant will imagine that every year he will be openly assessed. President Nkrumah said, as a government, they have come a long way in the journey of openness in governance and public accountability in the nation's journey of building the appropriate work ethos of re-engineering the public service operations to meet the growing demands for service delivery.
We started the performance contract with 22 MBAs. Today, we are signing with 95 public institutions, and there is good reason for spreading this initiative across public institutions. We have seen that the performance contract also promotes productivity, enhances resource mobilization, collaboration and coordination in the view of achievements of the overall national development agenda. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, in view of what you should obtain in 2008, there has been a general improvement in our governance system and continue to do well. Let me let everybody know that there is a reward for excellence, but also there will be punitive action for all performances. Today, we commend those that have made the mark, the good and very good. For the fear and not too good, that is all due to Kalokoh, and it has been clearly indicated by the Secretary to the Cabinet that we have not yet started penalizing people for directly failing to perform as an outcome of this exercise.
The Minister of Social Welfare, Gender and Children's Affairs, Sylvia Olainka-Blyden, has said in Freetown that she inherited a dysfunctional ministry that is embedded by scandalous and corrupt practices by some official in the ministry. She made the disclosure at the weekly press briefing hosted by the Ministry of Information at U Building. Abdul Samsisi was there and he now reports.
Giving an update on her assumption of office, the Minister of Social Welfare, Gender and Children's Affairs, Sylvia Olainka-Blyden, said she first uncovered a false activity, which she further described as a big fat lies that were presented to President Nkrumah, involving a $2 million project for the installation of internet services for the child protection system for all children across the country. She also informed journalists that there were false claims by a Sudanese foreigner to President Nkrumah for the fixing of a VSAT in the ministry, which she also described as a conspiratorial report. According to the Social Welfare Minister, she aims at bringing AFCOM company to justice.
I had to go out and look because the government doesn't have money to hire new confidential secretaries for the minister. So I had to go out and I looked. Amongst people I know are looking for work. And out of my personal funds, in excess of $1 million LEONEs every month, I decided to recruit a volunteer to serve as my confidential secretary. And she's there right now. She's been working there now for over 2 months. Her name is Hawa Bao. Hawa Bao is a Mende woman from Kenema, and her heritage is from Shegwima, Kailaon.
She also added that the issue currently reported to the police has also eroded to an attempt of bringing a tribal element of hate by possibly inciting one of the largest ethnic Mende tribe against the execution of her ministerial responsibilities. The Social Welfare Minister, Sylvia Olainka-Blyden, stated that she has recruited a confidential secretary who is a Mende called Awa Bao, contrary to claims of tribal element of hate against the Mendes. Also at the press briefing, the Deputy Minister of Information, Cornelius DeVoe, explained his findings on the recent uproar of flooding in the Kwaidu city at the Congo Bridge. He told journalists that it was merely a misconception by sectors of the Kono public that claimed a standoff by locals and the Chico Construction Company. According to the Deputy Minister, there was no standoff between the locals and the contractors in Kono.
The road to Congo Bridge, though it is under construction, was opened to vehicular traffic, pedestrians, motorcycle riders and other road users had the opportunity to use the Congo Bridge while the bypass remained flooded. Few people, for very obvious, nefarious political intentions, decided to take advantage of the flooding and to incite people to provoke public pandemonium and uproar with an intention to bring the city to a standstill.
The president of the Pig and Poultry Farmers Association, Emil Kagbo, also informed journalists of the operational activities of the association and further recounted challenges that include the poor access to finance by his association, the unavailability of feed mill, and processing facilities, as well as inadequate veterinary services and training centers for the association. For SLDC News Freedom, Abdul Samsise reporting.
Ministry of Agriculture and Forestry, in collaboration with Guma Valley Water Company and other partners, have observed National Tree Planting Day with the planting of thousands of trees at Mile 13 Guma Water Complex. Each year, the day is observed to raise awareness on the importance of planting trees to preserve the environment. Hawa Mosiri reports.
Tree planting is plant a tree to get more water, as water is life. The ceremony, which took place at Mile 13, targeted various stakeholders and residents of Mile 13 communities. The planting of trees was done close to water catchment areas as a move to stop deforestation. Minister of Water Resources Mahmoud Maligi refused to plant a tree because pillars have been erected at the catchment area.
That was just for planting. Who's out map so? Now baking in there around. That means I should come out, then they can't polish it. They not go big side, right? No, but wait. No, we need to be very serious and sincere. Who's out map so? They say line and they write down that one. Go beyond small. We get agreement. Exactly. And I want to see the community take the first action. That pan body where they are so. If they me say inside they illegal. No, so why is it? Because of you go begin now for show society. Your commitment, please add it to map. Because if not, there you just can't show.
He warned people living around Mile 13 to stop conniving with outsiders to sell lands that are part of the areas.
Mandate for protect the forest. It ain't an act. They not get to you as an executive position for protect. When you don't see them, they know it's like fire force, you see fire. They say, man, go tell the authorities, say fire day. You job now for us to fire.
Well, take the action. Next line of action, of course, the director for the protected area management from NPA, this is
this is a minor one. Madam, this one is a minor one. We don't do tree planting before. And if you always give that example, when the forest garden is in charge, who said that tree plant, that plant, who said the president will go to TCM for plants, and I mean, people say it. Now the mandate, if now host the non-bill, it's a last issue. That somebody work and done. Work and done. Now we don't put extra work and done.
Deputy Minister 1, Agriculture, Forestry and Food Security, Marie Jallo, says tree planting has started long ago, as it is the responsibility of every Sierra Leonean to protect the environment by planting trees. She recalls few months back, there was serious water crisis in the city due to encroachment and deforestation. She warned people to desist from cutting trees and always protect the environment from deforestation.
Me, as minister, now ministry, we always want to take the lead, and we don't continue to take the lead anytime we do. And we will continue to take the lead for make sure we protect the environment, we reclaim those trees that will be not lost by doing a lot of planting of trees all over the country.
General Manager of Guma Valley Water Company, Bankole Mansari, spoke about the importance of trees in the environment, as it helps protect the environment, provides water and preserve animals. Executive Director of Environmental Protection Agency, Jatu Jallo, calls for effective collaboration in protecting the environment. She notes that her office is working on several projects that will prevent climate change and deforestation. Honorable Dauda Kalon of Constituency 93 commended various partners and government in commemorating this year's Tree Planting Day. The community, he says, has faced with a lot of challenges, including encroachment and cutting down of trees and selling lands. He says they are putting strategies in place to stop harmful human activities within catchment areas. Honorable Kalon warned forest guards to stop conniving with people to sell the land within water catchments.
Do ya una left for the brush, left forest there. We left for the cut trees. Let we make sure say we prove to them people say we are people that when they obey law and order. Let we prove to them people say we are people that are ready for work with them. Now waiting that I can't tell we now today. We not going to move 1 inch above them, but we'll make sure say we wait in partnership with them so that together we go make the necessary changes that we will need for let this community go before. On that note, I have to tell you plenty thank you.
Dr. Kole Bangura, Executive Director of National Protected Area Authority, NPAA, says this year's theme for national tree planting is very important. SABC TV News are in Freetown.
The National Minerals Agency, NMA, signed a book of condolence for Mangia Parkinson. The NMA did a special presentation of solidarity. We bring you highlights of that signing of a book of condolence.
I'm here to do a presentation on behalf of the Board of Directors, Management and Staff of the agency to the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation on the loss of their valuable staff, Mangia Parkinson. May her soul continue to rest in perfect peace, sadly missed by all. On behalf of the Board of Directors, Management and Staff of the National Minerals Agency, we present this on the loss of your staff, Mangia Parkinson.
All right. I think this is a very big surprise, and this is the first institution that's got something to us.
After Women's Day.
Okay. Okay. So, on behalf of the board, the management and staff, I heartily accept this on behalf of Mangia, who was an invaluable personality here, and we welcome it. We thank you, and we thank you again. Okay?
I'll convey the message.
Thank you so much. Okay.
Thank you very much.
That was an highlight from the National Minerals Agency doing a special presentation as a show of solidarity for the late Mangia Parkinson. Also, the former flag bearer of the Sierra Leone People's Party, retired Brigadier Julius Maada Bio, and cross-section of SLPP have signed the Book of Condolence for Mangia Parkinson. The signing of the Book of Condolence was done at the SLPC, New England. Well, more on that, we now join Mubakar for that story.
Mangia Parkinson was known for her reporting not only during the Ebola outbreak but also the last two elections. Manners continue to troop to pay tribute to Mangia Parkinson. Women's leader, Sierra Leone People's Party, Lulu Sherif, said their comment is not political, but rather pay respect to a woman who was outstanding in the journalism profession and national development. Leader of the delegation, former flag bearer of the Sierra Leone People's Party, retired Brigadier Julius Maada Bio, described the late Mangia as a professional journalist whose death is not only a loss to the SLBC but the country as a whole.
Mangia was a valuable member of that estate. She played her role. Today she's gone ahead. May the Lord grant her merciful judgment, forgive her her sins, and we hope to join her one day. Nobody wants to go now, but much later we'll join her. We are here to show our respect. We know the role the Fortescue plays in the development of every nation, but as a valuable member of this estate, we are also here to show our collective respect as a group.
Also in attendance was the former SLPP running mate to the 2012 elections, Dr. Kadi Sissin. Acting Deputy Director General of the SLPC, Samuel Valcastle, thanked the SLPP for manning with the SLBC, saying that the office appreciates their coming even though it is not in a normal way but on a sad note.
Of the Board of Trustees, management and staff of the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation, we welcome Una to the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation headquarters in New England, Freetown. We please foresee Una come in such impressive number for can sign the Book of Condolence. Now we all lost. It is a national loss. Let we continue to console each other, and like the former flag bearer of the 2012 election, Brigadier retired Julius Maada Bio say, we all they pass through time. One day we all go converge at the other side of life. Let we take heart. Welcome Una for signing.
Minister of Political and Public Affairs, Nanette Thomas, also signed a book of condolence of Manja Parkinson.
It's unfortunate that you guys have lost an asset. But we are all here on the journey. One thing I'm happy about is that she finished the journey gracefully. We wish to know why. There are people who, before their journey ends, they become so sick that the relatives will be begging and asking God.
Media Sierra Leone has opened a book of condolence for Manja Parkinson, who was the first chairperson of Women in the Media in the Eastern region. Female journalists described the late Manja Parkinson as a role model and a mentor. Wimsal described the death of Manja as a big loss to the media. One of the family members commended Women in the Media Sierra Leone for the sisterhood shown.
Sister, friend, and colleague, journalists, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the executive
for our dear sister, unfortunately, that's a belated wish now. Our sister is already gone.
And she said she was given an account of how she covered it.
I was getting calls from all over.
As part of Commemoration World Breastfeeding Week on the theme Breastfeeding, a Key to Sustainable Development, Ministry of Health, in concert with partners, has concluded a symposium on the need to promote and support breastfeeding countrywide. The ceremony took place at the St. Anthony's Parish Hall, Sykes Street, Brookfields. Joseph Stanley sent in this report.
Observance of the day is to raise awareness, promote exclusive breastfeeding, as well as how it links to Sustainable Development Goals aimed at ending poverty, protecting the planet, and ensuring prosperity. According to the Director of the Directorate of Food and Nutrition, Aminata Shamit Koroma, breastfeeding is one of the low-cost interventions for child survival. She maintained that despite challenges, the country has made significant progress as the rates have increased, but much still needs to be done to meet international benchmarks. Madam Shamit Koroma stressed the need for effective collaboration with partners and stakeholders to support and promote, especially exclusive breastfeeding, as it will help prevent children from childhood diseases. The director encouraged lactating mothers to continue to breastfeed their children 1 hour after birth until 6 months, as it is the best way to provide the nutrients they need. The WHO Field Coordinator Western Area, Dr. Isaac Boateng, described breastfeeding as the best milk for a child, as it also helps to reduce child morbidity and mortality. He discouraged the practice of the use of water on newborn babies, noting that breast milk is free gift from God that can be used to save lives. The Director of Food and Nutrition Security Initiative, Melrose Tucker, explained about the link between the promotion of breastfeeding and Sustainable Development Goals to address poverty and the well-being of infants. The public health specialist, Safa Karoma, said WHO and UNICEF have laid emphasis on supporting breastfeeding, as it is one of the smartest investments countries can make in the well-being of their citizens, and reminded the audience about the global strategy on breastfeeding. Several other speakers also stressed the need to invest not only in ordinary breastfeeding, but exclusive breastfeeding and personal hygiene for lactating mothers.
Coming up next is Business Updates with Awanat Ponte.
Hello and welcome to the business update with me, Awanatu Conte. We begin with the foreign exchange rates. The US dollar buys at 6,035 leones and sells at 6,157 leones. The British pound sterling buys at 7,981 leones and sells at 8,145 leones. And the euro buys at 6,757 leones and sells at 6,892 leones. Courtesy of the Central Bank. AfriCell Chief Corporate Affairs Officer Joe Avas Bangura has officially launched BBC World Service mobile content at the company's headquarters at Wilberforce. This will improve the quality of life of its listeners through the provision of information that empowers, enlightens, and enriches their listening experience. Here is an excerpt of the program.
Keep up with what's going on in the world. The areas of partnership are twofold. Firstly, BBC World Service will provide regular sports and news updates for AfriCell subscribers as an interactive voice response IVR service. And secondly, the BBC World Service will be providing program content for air radio that will include, for the first time in Sierra Leone, BBC Minute, which is a fast-moving bulletin for young listeners, a daily Premier League bulletin, a weekly Y Factor, BBC Trending, and Saturday and Sunday Sports World. The IVR service, which will commence immediately after this press conference, is new to Sierra Leone. The main objective of the service is to provide first-hand sports and news on demand on the AfriCell network. The key advantage of the service is that with your handset, all you need to do is dial 313 to get the latest updates round the clock. The launch of this partnership represents another milestone in Air Radio's drive to be the premier providers of reliable, objective, cutting-edge sports news and entertainment in the country. AfriCell and Air Radio sees this partnership with the BBC as a natural one. Both entities share a similar vision, amongst other things, to improving the quality of life of its listeners through the provision of information that empowers, enlightens, and enriches the listening experience of our listeners. On behalf of the board, management, and staff of AfriCell, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the BBC for your belief and commitment in this project. It took us a long time to get to this point, but we're happy that we're now here today, and we feel very, very proud to be able to be partnering with the BBC.
The Divine Vocational Training Institute has held its 8th graduation ceremony at the Merta Conference Hall, Brookfields. The institute was established to provide vocational skills with legal sources of income through the method of self-reliance. Over
30 students received certificates after completing an intensive training on modern catering methods and home economics. According to the chairman of the program, Reverend Nylenda Kagu, education for the girl child is a paramount policy by the government of Sierra Leone and the United Nations. He added that skills training is a privilege and a foundation. Therefore, graduates should embrace and believe in what they have acquired over the years.
They allow you. But now because it's from 3, it don't pass. Now school is done so. Now by force they left school. For later picking on school back, you was plenty of 400,000. I want to let you man they got the book and anything about say. And how people get it begin is it from 3 not able pass. He not able take her at the school. You say people pay 400,000. What if you cannot take her back? Now trouble so now school done so.
A member of the board, Divine Vocational Training Institute, Mabel Flourish-Bar, described the graduation as a new beginning and a platform of change and investment for organizations who strongly believe in vocational skills.
This has created a great deal of burden on government and partners to provide for the half-baked elites who still need to be cared for. Realistically, not all formally educated citizens can absolutely be cared for not much to say about the literature broadcast.
She added that the Institute is a non-governmental organization initiated and designed to help dropouts and less privileged Sierra Leoneans, and it also provides vocational skills with legal source of income through the method of self-reliance. In a message, Reverend Mary Camara told the graduates that the certificates were proofs that they have gone through learning procedures with intensified knowledge, which should be utilized well. She noted that vocational skills are expensive, therefore governments and partners should invest in it.
That's the business update. I'm Aona Tukonte. Thanks for your time.
Well, up next is sports update with David Patrick Kamara.
Thank you very much. Well, for sports update, we start with the 2016 Olympic Games. Later tonight, there is going to be a sparkling of lights at the Maracana Stadium, marking the official opening ceremony of the 2016 Olympic Games. Preceding that was an official welcoming ceremony for Team Sierra Leone in the Games Village. Our own Unisadin Kago was there and sent us this report.
Times veiled, the ground has been trampled until now. Each sacrifice and learning, each brother and sister, all that is our flesh and bones today. Chaque sacrifice, chaque apprentissage, tout cela est notre chair et nos os d'aujourd'hui.
Is it real? What's behind the gate?
It was another day in the 2016 Olympic Games in Brazil. That moment was in the Olympic Park, where Sierra Leone was officially welcomed and flag raised. It was a symbolic occasion to officially say that Sierra Leone has been recognized in the Olympic Village. The occasion was the last team welcome ceremony ahead of the opening ceremony. The National Olympic Committee President Dr. Patrick Coker, Secretary General Joseph Nyande, Minister of Sport Ahmed Kano, we are all in attendance, not just to witness the ceremony, but to give the athletes the needed encouragement to be in the games and represent their country well. There was a drama by a performing art of young people in Brazil. It lasted for a while before the mayor of the village delivered the welcome address.
Athletes, welcome to Rio de Janeiro. We know how hard you have practiced. After hours and hours of dedicated training, after all the struggle and sacrifice, your dream has come true. You know how powerful this sport is and how it can bring people together. Therefore, fair play is the most important tool in our lives because it goes far beyond the field of play. The United Nations member states are support the United Nations resolution on the Olympic truce, which highlights the role that both sport and the Olympic game can play in building a better and more peaceful world.
Team leaders were then invited upstage to exchange gifts with the mayor, which was a symbol of unity. Usually, short gifts are placed in the museum of the International Olympic Committee to form part of the Olympic history. Sierra Leone presented a symbolic gift, Greetings from Sierra Leone, the land that we love, made from wood, which was captivating. The signing of the truce followed, before finally teams were invited into the celebration.
that's it for the official welcoming of Team Sierra Leone in the Games Village. Still in the 2016 Olympic Games, a Moroccan boxer has been arrested by Brazilian police over allegations of sexually assaulting 2 female cleaners in Rio de Janeiro Olympic Village. 22-year-old Hassan Saad has been held on suspicions of committing an assault on Wednesday, a police statement said. The boxer, who fights on light heavyweight category, was due to take part in his first bout on Saturday. A Brazilian judge has ordered he be detained for 15 days pending an investigation, media reports say. The detention could mean Sada is unable to take part in the games. Well, that's it for Sport Update. Over to you, Doreen.
Thanks to David. The producer, puts up a very nice style right there in the Rio competition. We'll turn the news, look at the main points again. Ministries, departments, and agencies have signed performance contracts with President and ENTREPRENEURSHIP. University of Sierra Leone has presented the new form of student governance to stakeholders. Minister of Social Welfare, Gender and Children's Affairs, Dr. Sylvia Blyden, has said she inherited a dysfunctional ministry, and passengers of Royal Air Morocco demonstrated over their missing luggage. Well, that's all in this edition of News Hour. On behalf of my news editor, Asmi Ruba, news producer Daphne Zainab Kamara, I am Doreen Kalokoh on Twitter. In case you missed all the part of our programs, you send us an email to contact to slbc.sl. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day. God bless you.